production, Trying to Find Chinatown. A warm welcome to Steve Shi. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for having me on your show.
Now, my son is going to ask me to ask you, how did you get on Enemy of the State?
Well, I started acting a few years ago, and
You just took it up and decided to go into acting.
well, I think I'd started actually a couple minutes after I was born. I'm a natural ham. I love the attention, and I think I actually played an African-American baby right after I was born. What happened was my mom had delivered me, and they put me on her chest, so she got a good look at me. And then a couple hours later, they asked her, "Mrs. Shi, are you ready to feed your baby?" And she said yes, and then they wheeled in a black baby. And so she was shocked. My dad almost fainted. He was wondering what was going on. And I think I was acting as an African-American baby with a different family.
You did start young.
Right. Well, actually, I helped out on a corporate video a few years ago and sort of developed an interest in the camera, took some classes, and just started acting and modeling in my spare time. And once you start getting into certain circles, you learn which productions are in town, and you develop a little network, and you're able to get your credentials submitted for consideration for shows like America's Most Wanted.
You know, actually, I starred in this little educational, instructional piece where I was a teller being robbed, right? I was Sue Linda teller being robbed. How stereotypical is that?
Well, I don't know. Did you do some kung fu and disarm the guy?
No, I just said, me no speak English. I think that's what I was asked to say.
Right.
But anyway, I think it's great that, you know, that you're actually in some of these mainstream types of productions. When you go and you audition as an Asian American actor, is that a plus? Is that a minus, or is it a neutral thing?
Well, it's funny. Sometimes there are certain stereotypes that you have to overcome. As you mentioned, being the Asian victim, or laundry worker, restaurant worker, or Chinese food takeout deliverer person, you do get typecast, and we as Asians get typecast into certain roles. So sometimes you do have to get past those stereotypes. You know, there's sometimes unspoken attitudes. I walk into an audition room and I can tell that I'm not exactly what the director or the producer may have in mind.
Right.
It's unspoken, but you can sense it.
Right.
Jim Valvano, who was a basketball coach for NC State, he once, during a game, he wanted to avoid a technical foul, which was a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. So he asked the referee, he said, you know, "Ref, can I get a technical for what I'm thinking?" And the ref said, "No, of course not." And then Jim Valvano said, "Well, then I think you stink." And it's kind of the same thing there. Sometimes it's not spoken, but you can feel they think you stink for that one part. And your job as the actor is to get beyond that stereotype and that typecast and convince the producer or the director or the client that, hey, we can put an Asian face in there. This guy can do it.
Right.
So in that sense, I have worked very hard to overcome stereotypes to get into certain positions. Now, having said that, I think the DC area has been great for me in terms of being an Asian actor because there are just a wealth of roles in commercials and industrials where they are looking for Asian faces and
yeah,
diversity.
these days probably more so than others, right?
Absolutely.
Because of just the emergence of the Asian American community in all facets of work and play.
Absolutely, and that was a pleasant surprise for me because for the first time in my life, I felt that my ethnicity, my skin color, my cultural heritage actually was a plus because there were folks out there looking for Asians. And
well,
of
I would
course,
assume if they were going to do a commercial about the high-tech age, right, that they would be wanting to show the Asian American CEO of the company or something and how they're thinking.
Well, that's what I thought, but various other roles, whatever they might be, you know, athlete, lawyer, doctor, garbage man, whatever, they are seeing Asian faces in these types of roles now, and it's opened lots of doors. It's great. It really is great.
But you have to get your foot in. You know, as you were saying, when you audition, if they don't, you know, if you don't have that opportunity to show that that you're believable in that character, and those perceptions are in, you know, the person who's making the decision's mind, that's it, right?
That's
they're entitled to make those decisions.
Well, I tell people that I get roles because I'm great, but the truth of the matter is that...
well, you are.
Well, that's a given, but the truth of the matter is really success comes from hard work. And acting is just like any other venture. You get out of it what you put into it. People don't realize, they see the glamorous side of it, but there's so much marketing, so much networking, so much effort, so much going to auditions, pouring your heart out in front of people, bearing yourself, getting negative feedback, and it's a lot of marketing, it's a lot of hard work. But if you're willing to put that energy and time into it, you can be successful.
So you have to be pretty thick-skinned. Well, you know, I'm sure that there are a lot of rejections that come along with this.
Well, I wouldn't know, but, but yes, there is a lot.
Just every so often, right?
I've kind of gotten into the mindset now where I don't tie my personal worth into whether I get a role or not. And once I go to an audition, then after that, it's over. I don't think about it anymore. I forget it. If I get a call offering me the role, then it's a pleasant surprise. If not, then I have to just focus on the next job.
And is it luck? Is it skill? What is it?
Sometimes it's luck. A lot of it is skill. There's certainly a lot of dedication that's required in terms of honing your craft as an actor, taking classes, training, practicing, just being in front of the camera.
Right.
But I think it was Edison that said that success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration.
And more so in the summer, right?
Absolutely.
Now, how then does being an administrative EEO judge fit into this picture of acting?
Well, it's wonderful. First of all, I think lawyers are all bad actors, so that works to my advantage. Being an administrative judge, I control my schedule, and that gives me the flexibility to be able to attend auditions and to take off and pursue acting opportunities, modeling opportunities. Right. At the same time, I realize what butters my bread, and I make sure that my emphasis is always on my full-time job. The acting is a hobby, albeit a very serious hobby.
At some point, would you